welcome to the second edition of the IMDH show. As you guys can see, we've changed our name, and it's now Student-Echo de Jeunesse. I'm Tanya Barnes.
And I'm Claudia Marchand, filling in for Renee Kipp, who's taking a Renee day today. And we have a great show for you up ahead. First, we're going to have an interview with Garrett and Wade, who are winners of the music competition during Spring Fling.
And then Josh, Jennifer, and Joelle are going to talk about their winning the art competition.
And then after that, we'll have a dissection with the grade 12 biology class of Carole Pelletier.
And then we're going to show a little segment from Education Week. The grade 11 PAL class had a square dancing activity.
And we'll have the 30-hour famine, an interview with Myra Hyland.
And then we're going to have a segment on Mr. Philip Reitman, who came to our school about 2 weeks ago to talk to us about his experiences as a Holocaust survivor.
And finally, we'll have something with L'École du Petit Gras. Okay. A few weeks ago, between the week of the 10th to the 14th, the school had their annual spring carnival called the Spring Fling. And during the week, we had a day called Competition Day. And it was where there were different types of competitions where people could compete in, like art, music, and sports. And today we're going to talk to some of the winners.
Garrett Landry and Wade Malcolm were the winners for the music competition, and the art competition was won by Josh Bajere, Jennifer Boudreau, and Joelle Sampson. So we're going to have an interview with them right now.
We're ready to record now? You're recording now? Okay. What we tried to do here was show spring in a beautiful way, through love between two people, the growing of beautiful plants, apple trees full of life, birds, bees, take it from there.
And I drew this with my feet, but then I drew a house, and the paint's running, which symbolizes an unhappy home, and she's not smiling, an unhappy relationship, but she can't get out of it because of environmental issues like acid rain.
And everything else.
And this is the rain pouring down, and he's got a hat on, so he's trying to block it out, but he can't. He can't because he's crying, and he's holding on to his house because he doesn't want to let go of his origin. And and then the killer bees are coming up from Mexico in Canada. And there's a doorknob.
And the sun.
Oh, and there's the sun. There's some green in it because that's global warming. What? Do you want to say something, Holly?
No.
Holly doesn't want to. I mean, Jennifer doesn't want to say anything. Good night, everybody. I'm done. I got you. Sorry.
Good job. Go for it.
Point it towards you when you speak. Point it towards you.
Okay.
Ready?
Yeah. We ran the music competition yesterday, and the basic principle of the game was we would say the line of a song, and the contestants would have to give the next line of the song, the title of the song, and who sang it. At times, I was fearful for my safety because it got kind of out of hand, but it overall went pretty well.
People were getting extremely violent, and we were fearful for our lives at some points.
That's why the winning team won, because they threatened our lives and bribed us. But, you know, what could we do about it?
They did do a good job, though, but they didn't win properly at all.
Oh, the winning team consisted of Garrett Landry, Wade Malcolm, Sherry Calder, and Tanya Barnes. And now we were going to have Garrett and Wade come in here and tell them how they managed to pull off winning our contest yesterday, guys.
This is the trophy I won for it.
Get in the mic.
And how do you feel about your victory, Wade? How did it make you feel? Ah!
All funny inside.
It made you feel funny?
Yeah.
How about you, Garrett?
I won a trophy.
I like it a lot. Do you want to give an example of a song that we used yesterday?
This song, what?
I'll give an example of how it went. Okay. Are you ready? I'm a model, you know what I mean?
Do I say it now?
Yes.
Tell me one again. Oh, and I do my little turn on the catwalk.
And who sings that song, Wade?
Right, said Fred.
And the name of the song is?
I'm too sexy.
We know you are. Thank you. Thank you.
I won a trophy.
We'd like to thank everyone who participated in Spring Fling. Now we're going to go to a dissection with Carole Pelletier's grade 12 biology class. And we're going to bring that to you now.
Ensuite, l'estomac.
L'estomac. Ici.
OK.
Je vais le couper là.
Vous autres, vous êtes plus avancés dans la dissection. Pouvez-vous m'identifier si c'est un mâle ou une femelle?
C'était un mâle,
Tout c'est bas, c'est parti.
pour sûr.
Qui peut m'identifier les poumons? Oui, où sont les poumons?
Thread. Là. Et là.
OK.
Ah, you. OK, c'est actuellement la première fois que je regarde le cochon. Et je trouve que c'est difficile de faire une dissection parce que c'est plus ou moins inutile de tuer des bébés cochons pour faire ceci. Il y a des programmes sur l'Internet, il y a cette technologie que c'est pas nécessaire maintenant de faire ceci. Alors, je le trouve difficile. Ça, c'est mon opinion.
Je pense aussi de la même façon parce que avec toute la technologie qu'on a aujourd'hui, on peut faire des dissections virtuelles sur l'Internet. Aussi, je crois même si on faisait seulement une dissection et toute la classe pourrait l'observer, ça le ferait plus facile et on n'aurait pas besoin si tant de spécimens.
Et aussi, il y a des substances un peu toxiques, puis on n'est pas sûr si, on n'est pas certain si ça peut nous faire mal, alors ça le rend un peu dangereux pour les élèves.
Oui.
C'est tout.
Moi-même, pour les dissections, je suis plus ou moins en faveur de l'idée qu'on tue des animaux pour faire la dissection. Comme les élèves ont très bien souligné, on a tellement une bonne technologie aujourd'hui où on peut se permettre de faire une dissection animée sur un ordinateur. Ça fait que je ne vois pas vraiment l'utilité de tuer des animaux pour un but de dissection, surtout un but de dissection. Puis, j'ai soulevé le point l'année passée à l'école sous ce niveau-là, mais on me dit qu'au niveau des écoles, c'est encore obligatoire de faire une dissection avec le spécimen en question. Puis je trouve que c'est dommage parce qu'on devrait essayer d'autres tentatives, puis il y a d'autres solutions. Puis les élèves, je pense que les élèves apprendraient beaucoup mieux s'ils pouvaient effectuer une dissection de leur choix. Parce que je pense que ça, c'est pas le choix de tous les élèves. Là. Ça fait que c'est ça mon opinion. Merci.
I'd like to thank Madame Carole Pelletier and her grade 12 class for letting us intrude on their dissection. It was very informative.
Okay, now we're going to show a little segment from Education Week. The grade 11 PAL class here at school had a square dancing activity, and they let us tape it, and we interviewed some of the participants after. So we're going to show you that right now. Hi, I'm here with Lisa McNamara, teacher at IMDH, and I'd just like to ask her a few questions about this square dancing activity that she's doing with her physically active lifestyle class.
First of all, I'll start by saying what physically active lifestyle is and what the course is, because most people don't know that it is a required course to graduate. Basically what it is teaching the students how to integrate physical activity into their daily lifestyle, which means that you don't have to be a size 3 and working out every day to be physically active, nor do you have to be that image to be healthy. So what we're trying to teach people, and the methods that we use, first of all, we use journaling, so the children or the students are always using journals to keep track of what they're doing that's physically active. Also, we're teaching the principles of training about overload and progression, and we're looking at the different components of physical activity. So we're looking at cardiovascular fitness, looking at flexibility, muscular strength and endurance, and there's actually 5 components, and during the year what we do is work on those 5 components. Right now we're doing a section on cardiovascular, so that's why we've taken square dancing in, because it's a really good cardiovascular activity. 2 weeks ago we had someone come in to do aerobics, Nick Terrio came in, and that really worked really well too. So that's basically what physically active living is. Also we talk a bit about stress, and we talk about nutrition and that sort of thing. Today we had Jean and Blair and Terry McNamara come in, who just happen to be family members of Monica's. That's one little perk. And also Buffy McNeil played with them. And again, I'm very impressed. When it first started out, the students were a bit anxious, especially when they saw the cameras here.
Right.
So we just let them warm up, and actually it turned out to be very good, and it was, I would say, 100% participation, so it was excellent.
Yeah. Why do you feel this type of activity is important? Does it help promote culture or active lifestyle?
I do think it helps to promote culture and also to show teens out there that some of the old ways are still a lot of fun. And I think by watching them hooting today, you got to see that you know, this is still a part of our culture.
They seem to be having a blast.
They had a really good time.
Well, thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Thanks. And Jonathan McNamara. I'm just going to ask them a couple of questions about the activity that they did today. Did you guys have a good time?
Oh yeah. Yeah, it was pretty fun. Yeah.
Did you expect? Is this what you kind of expected, or were you kind of surprised about anything about it?
Oh yeah, I thought it'd be like old timer stuff, but it's okay.
Pretty exciting. Yeah.
What kind of other stuff do you do in PAL class?
Well, sumo wrestling. We made up our own games, played a little soccer, basketball. Variety. It was a variety.
You guys having fun? You like the class?
Oh yeah.
Thanks. Okay, hi, I'm here with Natasha Sampson and Amanda Short and Corey Bridgeau, and I just would like to ask them a couple of questions about the square dancing activity. Did you guys like it, or?
Oh yeah, it was fun.
What did you think?
It was really fun. It was different, like, you know, how we go back then and then now. It's pretty cool.
So you didn't think it was like an old-timer type of activity, like you guys had a good time?
Yeah, it was different. Like, I was used to other kind of sports, and
It's that warm, actually.
Yeah, you guys were like working up a sweat out there. So you guys all had a good time?
Yeah.
What kind of other stuff do you do in PAL class?
we do anything different. Like, normally in gym class you play basketball or soccer or something else, but here you play different sports just to get yourself active and try different things.
Do you feel this is a worthwhile class?
Yeah, it is, I think. It gets us to, like, show up with others and how to hang out and do things between each other and show it even more.
Thanks a lot, guys. We'd like to thank everyone who participated in that square dancing activity.
Now we're going to have an interview with Myra Hyland, who was one of the heads in organizing the 30-hour famine. So we're going to go, and Alicia Boudreau was in charge of this interview.
Okay, on May 28th and 29th, we had a 30-hour famine here at the school, and I'm here with one of the head organizers, Myra Hyland. I'm just going to ask her a few questions. Okay, Myra, why did you decide to organize this 30-hour famine?
Well, we organized the famine for two reasons. The first was to raise awareness in our school and the surrounding communities about world hunger and poverty. And the second reason was to raise money for those people who are living in those conditions.
Okay, how did it go?
It went really well. We had 40 participants. Our goal was $1,000, and we raised $1,700. With a lot of help from local businesses, people who made donations, sponsors, chaperones. Everyone pitched in.
Okay. Did you get any reactions from any of the participants? What were there?
A lot of people mentioned that they found it a really humbling experience because it gave you a taste of what life is like for those people. And you see what it's like to live in a situation like that. Even though it's only 30 hours and you can go home and eat after that, you still sort of see what it must feel like.
Okay. That's it? Okay, thanks.
No problem.
Thank you, Alicia and Myra, for that interview.
Now we're going to go to a couple of segments with Mr. Philip Reitman, and he came to our school a couple of weeks ago, and he talked to us about his experiences as a Holocaust survivor, and his story is a little bit gruesome. It's kind of scary, so we kind of recommend viewer discretion.
You are lucky people, very lucky here, and you're taking the country for granted, everything. You don't know how lucky you are here. If your ancestors If your grandparents, whatever, wouldn't go and fight the Nazis, you wouldn't be here today. Is a heckler here? I'm speaking too loud? No. So your ancestors, how many Canadians, Americans, British, how many people went and fought the Nazis and gave their life, and some of them never came back? How many fathers and mothers is crying today with the lost their sons and the daughters and the war? They give you your freedom here. They saved you from evil here. And they liberated me.
I would like to think that I could forgive, the Nazis or whatever if I were there, but what he said made sense, Mr. Reitman, when he said that he couldn't forgive. I mean, he isn't God. That really made sense to me, that he couldn't forgive. And I mean, I think everyone's going to interpret his message. I'm sure he had more than one message to what he was saying, but my interpretation of it was that, not to have any enemies.
See everything, I don't see you guys here. I see Auschwitz. My mind goes right back. And that's, see. One day the Germans came to the ghetto and said, look, we cannot keep you there, there's too many of you, and we're going to take you on farms. Oh, my father was really excited. On a farm would be wonderful, at least you're free. You can go around, you get food, you work day and night, you have a place, a farm, it's okay, you have barns, you can go in the barn or do something. And we all were willing to go on farms. And everybody was crying in all this old town, old city. They brought trains, and I would say about 200 cars, freight cars. And they drove us, driving us to the station, to the train, and they packed each car. If you walk in, you jump in the car, you stand up, you got no room even to turn around. It was blocked with people, men, women, children, people crying, people, little kids. No, the bottle, they lost the bottle for the kid and things like that. But they packed, and they took us to Auschwitz. They lied, and people believed them. We were 7, 8 days on the train, could imagine, with no food, with no water, no bathrooms. One old man died on the train, in the car. We pushed him aside. A woman was there with a little baby in her arm, maybe 6 months old. And they didn't have enough food for her, the baby died. What are you going to do? They took the baby and the man, the lump, on top of each other, and we were sitting. Everybody wants to drink water. Everybody thirsty. Never mind food, they're thirsty. I can picture this now because I was there. And we were sitting in the trains. So what boards, the train, the boards something this much. And some of them had a little spoon, a teaspoon or something. We used to push it out when it was raining to give someone a drop of water in his mouth. Oh, it was terrible. We got to Auschwitz. I never heard of Auschwitz. I never seen it. I couldn't understand. Even if somebody would tell me by train. We got to Auschwitz and the train goes in right to a concrete platform. And they open up the doors. And the bright light was at 4 o'clock in the morning. That I'll never forget. And there was, I don't know which month, January or February, I'm not sure exactly the month, which one. What was in 1942? I think it was the beginning of February. It was cold, in places was like misty, or some rain, or freezing rain. They open up the cars, and they start screaming, yelling. I see them Nazis running with machine guns and beating them right in the stomach, and they could see the blood flying all over. And everybody got hysterical. Everybody, nobody lose. You lose the mind. You don't know what happened to you. And you see after a couple hours, you see maybe about 200-300 little babies lying on the platform, on the concrete platform, and screaming and crying, and driving the women and the men and the other side. And they divide us. You know what the Germans used to go with the gun, turn the gun around, and hit the baby. The baby used to scream, hit her with a head, split the baby's head, and stop crying. There was a horrible.
The Holocaust might have been over a long time ago, but it's not over for him. From what he was saying, wherever he is, like even in the gym, he's saying, "I'm not seeing you guys. I'm seeing Auschwitz here." I mean, that really made us think. You know, it's over, but it still has an effect on these people. It's so profound.
We walked in there. They took off our clothes here. And they give us striped clothes, 10 striped clothes. If you see with prisoners, you look up there when you see striped clothes. So they give us the striped clothes, and everybody stays in the line, and they number you. They give you have to wear the Star of David and the cloth, and sew it in on your side here, and on this side there. And they number you. You put your hand in the wicket, and they number it. And I was numbered. I was the 98,706th person. That's my number. Can you imagine how many people they killed? They killed over 2 or 3 million. I was in the first 100,000. Then they drove us in another barrack we had to go through, and when they give you your clothes and they give you a bowl, a red enamel bowl. Well, the bowl is very important to you, because if you haven't got the bowl, you cannot eat. You can't get no soup, you can't get no coffee, you can't get nothing. A piece of bread, you take in your hand. And they kept us in the barracks, and then I found out that all my family was gassed and burned. Because prisoners who was there before me, and they look at my number and say, "Oh, you came with this transport, but we burned all the bodies." I said, "What?" And I just was numb. And I said, "Gee, I'm alone. I got nobody to know." Mine, I love that drink. Then they took us in the barracks, and they used to march us. We have to march. And if you couldn't march proper like a soldier, you're dead automatically. If you wear glasses, you got no chance to survive, not one bit. You kill you immediately. If you're too dark, you got no chance. If you're too blonde, you got no chance. I don't know what they really was looking for. And they used to beat us because they used to give us wood shoes. But the shoes was wood, but on top, over it, was cloth. So that's what we wore, and striped clothes.
The presentation of Mr. Reitman was very sentimental. I think what he went through was very heart-wrenching because he lost all his family and everything that he went through. I think he's a very strong man for being able to talk about that to us, and all in all, I think he's a very brave man for doing this.
The red enamel bowl will save your life. In the morning, they give you a cup of coffee, a ladle of coffee, these big barrels, and the coffees, in the fall of the year, they take leaves, yellow leaves, the gray up leaves, and they put them in water and they boil it. The coffee was green, the color green-black. I don't know what color it looked like. But after a week with no food, with no water, with nothing, they give you a little coffee and say a liter, more than a liter. You don't know what to do. Should I wash my face? Should I wash my hands? Or should I drink it? 3 quarters I used to drink it up. A quarter I used to wash my fingers, my hands, and I beat my eyes to wash it up. And you sleep in barracks, 2,000 men in a barrack. And if you want to know what it looks like we slept, I want you to look, there's pictures there. How we slept, just plain rough wood, lumber. Could imagine they give us 2 blankets for 7 people. And 1 blanket we used to put on the board because the splinters used to go to our body. So we covered 1 blanket with 7 of us used to come up. And lunchtime, they give you a bowl of soup. So they bring a bowl of big barrels they used to bring, and each block, each building has a big barrel of soup, about 2,000 men, and you come with this little, with a bowl, and they give you a ladle soup. Sometimes was black soup, black water. When you put the finger in there, it wasn't really hot. But put the finger in, you find pieces of rat's tails, long ones, some shorter ones, but the hair was still on. You see rat's paws, you could see the nails, and when it's boiled, we ate this when you're hungry. You don't know what you would eat when you starved. And the frogs, you had a royal banquet when you had a piece of frog to eat it all boiled, everything. I don't know how they boiled it, what they did, I don't know. But that was our lunch. And sometimes they give you thick barley soup, so salt that you can't eat it because you're thirsty after. You can't eat it from salt, but we ate it anyway. And supper time, like 8 o'clock, they give you a piece of bread. They take you like you buy baker's bread, the loaf bread from the bakers, with black bread, right heavy, sake, very black, like it was like coal. And they used to slice it for 6 people. So each one had a portion of bread. That was your daily food.
OK, ta présentation m'a touché d'une manière que je ne pourrais pas décrire. Parce que même si je regarde des films, vraiment, je ne voulais pas vraiment brailler avec le film parce que c'était pas quelque chose que des personnes avaient vraiment été à travers. Et puis pour ta présentation, quand tu as commencé à parler à propos, quand tes parents et puis tes sœurs t'ont tué avec toi, ça m'a vraiment touché et puis je voulais pleurer avec toi, mais j'ai arrêté mes larmes jusqu'avec avant de tomber.
But a lot of people will go and try to brainwash you. Don't let yourself brainwash you. Look on the world. Look at the people there, same as you. God forbid if you're sick and you need a transfusion of blood and you take his blood to put in your body, you should live. He gives you life. Or the other way around. Why killing each other? Why not loving each other better? You feel good when you love someone, you do something good. If you do a good deed, don't you feel wonderful? You can sleep and you're wonderful. And everybody will tell you what a nice person, what a nice people. You get it back. You get 10 times back what you're going to give. But remember, don't hate anyone. Anybody else want to ask? Go ahead.
We all know that it's causing you pain to come and tell us your story, but what compels you to keep doing it and to relive those experiences?
There's two things. They say when you die, you meet all the people. Your soul will see other human beings across the other side. They'll ask you, what did you do for us? I could say, I spoke out. I tried to educate them on this side to be good. The other thing, I don't want to go and speak about it because it's very painful for me because I get emotional when I come and think about it. Because I relieve, I go back to my life. It's something in the back of my mind tells me, go, just like somebody pushed me a finger in my back and said, go and speak about it. You survive, you speak about it. That's why I'm speaking about it. And millions and millions and millions, not only Jewish people, millions cannot speak. Listen, Auschwitz, one camp, they used to burn 20,000 people a day. Men, women, and children. Innocent. Auschwitz was a camp, 120,000 people, men, most. Among this 120,000 was only 10,000 Jews, and the rest was all nationalities, all Christians. Why? I'm not speaking only for Jewish people. I'm speaking for innocent who died until the Nazis killed them. Do you know that they killed 20 million Russians, civilians? Not army, not fighting. Fighting, Russia lost 8 million. 20 million. I saw graves, I would say, the size of the school. Driving in towns, hundreds, thousands of people. Driving in, going down a step, and the Germans threw hand grenades and blowing them apart. People with children, the children, the legs fly up in the air. Blood all over the walls, 10 feet deep. I could see it now. I could hear children crying. They took 40 kids, small kids, I would say a year and a half old, or maybe 2. Just some of them couldn't even walk yet. Some of them used to run. They hang them on trees, and they use them for targets. And my friends told me they picked them to go and bury them. And they went, there was a big house, and there was a meadow. We used to clean the garden around there, and there was a fence, a wooden fence, maybe 20 feet high, and there was big trees with big branches sticking out. They hanged them on these trees, and they're standing up from a balcony and shooting who, and you should hear the kids crying, screaming, because they ate them for the legs, and their heads was down. And you should see the blood on this wall and then this tree. Where is God? Where's humanity?
Recently, IMDH had the pleasure of having a guest speaker, Mr. Philip Reitman, come to our school. I'm going to ask Mr. Goyesh to give us a few details on this presentation. Mr. Goyesh, who exactly is Philip Reitman, and why did you decide to bring him to our school to give his story?
Well, Claudia, first of all, I, as well as Mrs. Carol McNeil, had the opportunity to listen to Mr. Reitman at a local hotel in Halifax. We were invited there because they were distributing resource material on the Holocaust, which was done by the Department of Education. While they were distributing this material, they had invited a guest speaker, Mr. Philip Reitman, who was a survivor of the Holocaust during the Nazi regime during the Second World War. I can honestly say that we were about 50 people in the conference room at the time, and by the time Mr. Reitman finished speaking, I don't think there was a dry eye in the house. His presentation on the Holocaust and this personal experience was very moving, very powerful, and very interesting. So as time went on, I spoke to Mrs. McNeil, and I said, you know, Carmel, this would definitely be a very, very good idea to have him come to our school. So as time elapsed and another year went by, and I just forgot about it, and last month I took it upon myself to phone the Atlantic Jewish Council, and they proceeded to tell me that I had to ask him personally. So I got in touch with Mr. Reitman. I introduced myself, and I asked him the big question, would you please come to address our students? And when he said yes, I almost jumped out of my seat. It was very rewarding, and I knew that if he did come down to share his personal experience with us, that students would benefit from this in more ways than one. He had been down here a number of years ago. He knew Guy LeBlanc as well as Marilyn, and he would like to have seen them again. So I decided to invite Mrs. LeBlanc up to listen to his presentation, and naturally he was here. He arrived here on May 27th. He addressed our student body for an hour and a half. We also had some students at the end of his presentation that stayed behind, and more or less to discuss some other things, to ask him some questions, who hugged him and personally congratulated him for his courage. I personally had the occasion of spending an extra 3 hours with him after the session, and it was certainly a pleasure to spend 3 hours with a man that I admire very, very much for his bravery. Considering what happened to this man, his message to the whole student body was, we should not hate. And we're talking here about someone who practically lost his whole family. And since that time, I've sent him several faxes. He wanted to know what was going on, what the response was. I checked with some of the teachers in the staff room, and the comments were of a positive nature. And what I have done recently, I've just finished sending Mr. Reitman a package, and the contents more or less would include some of the students' opinions in Mr. Roy Boudreau's grade 9 and grade 12 class, and what effect that he had on them.
Do you think that you were saying that when you went and it was with all the other grown-ups, there wasn't a dry eye in the house? Do you think that it affected the students in that way, in a positive, not positive, but just in a way that they'll always hold it, like it's something, a story that they'll always remember?
Based on what I've been told by the teachers and also some of the students that I've spoken to, even in my own classes, this is one event that I guarantee you will not be forgotten by too many students in our school, and as well as teachers, because I know that when some teachers came out of the AV room, the first comment that they made to me, well, you know, what a powerful session. And for me, it is a powerful session. May 27th, I've been teaching 22 years, and May 27th is one day I won't forget.
Well, right here we have a letter from Mr. Steven Spielberg, who you all know is a very famous director, and he directed a movie called Schindler's List, and since then he's been working with the survivors of the Holocaust, and he wrote a letter to Mr. Philip Reitman, and Mr. Goethe is going to read it for us now.
Yes, Mr. Reitman gave me a copy of this letter. I've made copies, and I've posted them up in the school, and the organization is entitled Survivors of Shoah. And I think most of the money that was raised for the film Schindler's List went towards this foundation. And on December 3rd, 1996, Mr. Reitman received a personal letter from the chairman of the foundation. You all know Mr. Spielberg, as Claudia just alluded to, Schindler's List, as well as E.T. Dear Mr. Reitman, in sharing your personal testimony as a survivor of the Holocaust, you have granted future generations the opportunity to experience a personal connection with history. Your interview will be carefully preserved as an important part of the most comprehensive library of testimonies ever collected. Far into the future, people will be able to see a face, hear a voice, and observe a life, so that they may listen and learn and always remember. Thank you for your invaluable contribution, your strength, and your generosity of spirit. All my best, Steven Spielberg.
Thank you very much.
You're very welcome.
My name is Penny McKinnon. I'm a grade 12 student, and I'm just reading my essay that I wrote on Mr. Reitman's presentation. The presentation by Mr. Reitman yesterday was indescribable. As the man walked into the AV room, there was an overwhelming sense of sadness and amazement that overtook me. I knew immediately that I was in the presence of a great human being. I've seen the movies and books and have been completely shaken, but it's nothing compared to being in the same room with someone who survived a very shameful period in history. Seeing it in the movies and reading it, there is still a part of you that believes it couldn't happen. It becomes reality when someone such as Mr. Reitman shares his story. That teeny part of you can't deny it anymore. As he described the horror and evil he and millions of others endured, I found myself so unbelievably grateful for the life I have. You hear people complain about their problems, and everything becomes so incredibly petty and unimportant. The presentation left me with a profound feeling of sadness and fear. Fear for my family and for the rest of society. Everyone believes it could never happen, but I'm sure if you asked Mr. Reitman and any of the other millions of survivors, or the millions who lay murdered, they would have said that the same thing just a few years before the Holocaust. I guess the only thing I can say is that the horror I thought I knew and imagined is nothing compared to the nightmare experienced or caused by my fellow human beings, and it's something I won't or can't ever forget.
We would like to thank Mr. Philip Reitman for coming to our school. His story was very moving, and he taught us that hate is not the answer, and after all that he's gone through, he's a very big inspiration to us all.
We're sending him a copy of the tape so that he can see it and kind of see our feedback and see what we thought of his presentation. And once again, we'd like to thank Mr. Reitman for coming in.
Thank you very much.
Okay, now we're going to lighten things up a bit.
Récemment, il y a eu une journée d'atelier à la grande salle à la Picasse avec les élèves de l'école du Petit de Gras. Puis à cette heure, on va avoir des entrevues que Martina Babet a administrées avec les élèves. Puis on va voir ça maintenant. Aujourd'hui, nous sommes à la grande salle de la Picasse, où des ateliers sont ici pour les grades 7. Madame Bétienne, David, comment est-ce que ces ateliers aident aux enfants?
Bonjour. Première chose, les ateliers, c'est des activités de succès qu'on a planifiées pour donner l'occasion aux élèves de faire des choses pratiques, d'expériencer des loisirs différents, qu'ils sont peut-être habitués de faire. Et puis, ils voient les personnes dans la communauté, dans les différentes communautés, des alentours, de toutes les choses qui sont intéressées qu'ils peuvent faire dans leur vie, comme loisir, comme emploi.
Est-ce que c'est pour les aider à faire leur choix de carrière?
Ça pourrait être. Toutes les personnes ici, là, les bénévolats, c'est pas nécessairement leur carrière, ceci, c'est des loisirs. C'est du travail qu'ils font comme pour relaxer, peut-être des choses pour donner des cadeaux. C'est pas nécessairement, c'est pas une carrière, mais c'est des fois qu'ils sont intéressés dedans et qui veulent donner leur temps, qui dire aux élèves de faire ceci. C'est très intéressant, puis c'est très valable.
Qui a pensé à l'idée de faire ces ateliers?
Ceci, c'est un projet du CSAP. Moi, je suis responsable du projet réseau, c'est ça que c'est appelé. Et puis, c'est avec l'école du Petit Desgras. Puis, on travaille avec les élèves de 7e année. Je travaille aussi avec les élèves de 6e année puis les élèves de 8e année. Une de mes tâches, c'est ceci, d'organiser des journées d'activités de succès. Puis, travailler avec un autre programme de pacte avec les 6-7 pilotes. On donne aussi on fait des différentes choses. On a fait des ateliers de la cuisine, de la culture. On a fait une initiation aux premiers soins. Puis plus tard, on va faire des cours de premiers soins avec les 7e année. On a fait des jeunes entreprises. De toute façon, c'est toute partie de le travail que je fais pour les élèves. C'est pour les élèves, pour les ateliers de différentes choses.
Alors, c'est pour le plaisir et le bien des élèves?
Le plaisir et le bien-être des élèves.
OK. Maintenant, je suis avec M. Verny. Quelle sorte d'atelier est-ce que c'est?
Ici, c'est la charpentier.
Qu'est-ce que vous faisiez?
On fait des quoi pour tenir des serviettes. Puis on fait quoi pour tenir des essuie-mains, un rouleau d'essuie-mains.
Combien de temps est-ce que ça prendrait pour faire ces projets ici?
Pour faire tout le projet, ça prendrait pas 3 jours. Si je faisais tout, je venais faire 6 de chaque.
Tu vas avoir beaucoup de rouleaux d'essuie-mains.
C'est pas tout pour moi, c'est chacun. Il rapporte pas à la maison, puis on finit.
Okay. Ici, je suis avec Lucie Fortin. Quelle sorte d'atelier est-ce que vous faisiez ici?
Ici, on fait du tin punch.
Qu'est-ce que c'est vraiment?
Le tin punch, c'est de l'aluminium. C'est comme ça ici. Tu prends une pièce d'aluminium que tu fais des trous avec un poinçon qui est comme ça ici. Puis ensuite, il y a des finis à faire. C'est que tu passes une laine d'acier pour vieillir l'aluminium. Puis ensuite, tu mets un produit qu'on appelle anti-queen, qui est pour antiquer, faire vieux. Tu peux faire comme ceci, tu peux faire sur des boîtes à pain, tu peux faire ça sur des choses différentes.
Est-ce que c'est vraiment dur de faire?
Très, très, très facile. Tout le monde peut faire ça. J'ai ma petite fille de 4 ans qui est là 1 an et demi qui en a fait aussi. C'est facile.
Combien de temps est-ce que ça prend?
Juste pour faire comme celui-là ici, c'est environ facilement 45 minutes, 1 heure, juste à faire des points. Puis ensuite, juste de finir un autre 15 minutes peut-être. C'est pas environ 1 heure, 1 heure et quart.
OK, merci. Aujourd'hui, je suis avec
Nathalie Sanson.
Quelle sorte d'atelier est-ce que tu offres aux enfants ici?
Moi, aujourd'hui, je fais du toll painting. C'est un projet qui dure peut-être 2 heures. Il y a beaucoup de peinturage. Pas trop de détails, là, mais il y a des projets qui ont beaucoup plus de détails qu'on fait aujourd'hui.
Comme quelle sorte de projet?
On en a derrière, là, j'ai des projets que j'ai faits, des petites personnes, ces choses-là, beaucoup plus de détails que les Pères Noël qu'on va faire aujourd'hui. Pour faire les projets avec beaucoup plus de détails, il faut des brosses et sprays, puis aujourd'hui, ben, on n'a pas vraiment les brosses, là. Mais les enfants vont quand même être capables de faire les visages, les choses eux-mêmes.
Est-ce que tu penses que c'est quelque chose qui est vraiment facile qu'un petit enfant peut le faire?
Il y a des choses. Il y a des cours de donner à travers le Recreation Department. C'est juste, il y a des certaines affaires que les enfants peuvent faire plus petits, mais quand même les gros projets, c'est plus difficile, il y a beaucoup plus de détails et beaucoup plus d'ouvrages.
OK, merci.
Merci.
Nous sommes maintenant à un différent atelier avec un monsieur.
Terrasse Fortune.
Monsieur Terrasse, quelle sorte d'atelier est-ce que ceci c'est?
C'est un atelier pour seulement démontrer comment amarrer des mouches à pêche. On les fabrique avec des étaux, des différents matériels naturels, puis des fils, puis des différentes choses comme ça.
Est-ce que c'est facile à faire?
Pas au commencement, non. C'est pas vraiment si compliqué que ça. Moi, ça prend de la patience. Comme Natacha ici, elle a beaucoup de patience.
Combien de temps est-ce que ça prend pour finir une hamsa?
Celle-ci, c'est comme vers la nuit. C'est pas vraiment difficile pour quelque chose pour une personne qui l'a pas avant. Pour moi, 1 minute et demie. Pour les autres, ça fait plus longtemps, non? Pauvre Natacha, je me moque d'elle. Ça dépend sur la différente mouche. Il y a des mouches qui sont plus compliquées que les autres. Il y a des plus simples avant.
OK, merci.
Donc, vous êtes bienvenus.
OK, je suis ici avec des étudiants Holly, Malpi et Adèle Boudreau. Quel atelier est-ce que vous faisiez? Est-ce que c'est beaucoup de plaisir?
Oui.
Qu'est-ce que vous allez faire avec le produit final?
Ça serait peut-être un cadeau, le donner à ma mère, quelque chose de même.
Est-ce que c'est quelque chose que vous ferez pour vos loisirs?
Peut-être les fêtes, semaine ou quelque chose, faire mes devoirs, quelque chose comme ça.
Qu'est-ce que vous alliez faire avec le cadeau Adèle?
Je vais peut-être donner à ma mère un cadeau ou quelque chose.
OK, merci. Ici, on est encore au charpentier avec Nicole Clemens et Kelsey Boudreau. Nicole, qu'est-ce que vous faisiez maintenant?
Des choses pour harder des serviettes.
Est-ce que vous pensiez que c'est du plaisir?
Oui.
Est-ce que c'est quelque chose que vous aimeriez faire les fêtes de semaine?
Oui, parce que c'est beaucoup de plaisir, parce que c'est fun de faire.
Est-ce que vous l'aviez déjà fait avant?
Non, je sais pas.
Qu'est-ce que vous alliez faire avec le produit final?
Je vais peut-être donner à ma tante Vina pour un présent. Je vais garder comme un souvenir.
OK, merci.
Rien.
Vous pouvez montrer à la caméra votre produit fini, là?
Ici, je suis avec Scott McNeil. Scott, est-ce que tu as aimé cet atelier?
Oui, beaucoup. C'était vraiment intéressant.
Est-ce que tu vas utiliser ton hameçon pour faire la pêche?
Oui.
Est-ce que tu as déjà fait de la pêche avant? Est-ce que tu penses que tu serais vraiment intéressé?
Oui, beaucoup. Ça m'intéresse beaucoup.
Est-ce que tu pourrais en faire ces choses ici à la maison? Pourquoi?
Oui, mais on a besoin d'attraper beaucoup de choses à faire.
On a déjà parlé avec Felicia quand on travaillait sur ce projet. Regarde-le maintenant. C'est vraiment beau. Est-ce que tu aimerais faire après l'école ou pendant tes fêtes de semaine?
Oui, j'aimerais le faire. C'est vraiment simple et c'est beaucoup de plaisir.
C'est-tu ta première fois à le faire?
Oui.
Est-ce que si pendant ta vie, il y avait une chance pour démontrer cette technique à d'autres enfants, est-ce que tu le ferais?
Oui, parce que j'aimerais qu'ils voient le moteur de plaisir que j'ai eu quand j'étais un enfant et j'aimerais leur montrer.
OK, merci.
Bienvenue.
OK, je suis ici au Canal Record avec Lindsay McLean. Lindsay, est-ce que tu as du plaisir?
Oui.
Qu'est-ce que tu vas faire avec ton Canal Record?
Je vais le donner à ma mère.
Pour quelque chose de spécial?
Juste pour le donner comme un cadeau, je pense.
Est-ce que ceci, c'est quelque chose que tu aimerais faire plus tard dans ta vie?
Peut-être, je pense. Je sais pas.
Si un petit élan de maintenant, il y a une autre activité comme ceci, est-ce que tu aimerais montrer cette technique aux enfants?
Oui, si je me rappelle.
Pourquoi?
Parce que j'aime le faire.
OK, merci.
OK, merci.
Est-ce que tu as aimé de travailler avec ces enfants?
Ah, j'ai vraiment aimé ça. C'était un plaisir de venir. J'ai dit, on fait des beaux produits. Ils sont vraiment beaux.
Est-ce que tu penses que tu vas en faire l'année prochaine aussi?
Oui, je serais bien intéressée de retourner.
Est-ce que tu penses que les enfants ont eu quelque chose de vraiment bon de ce projet?
Je le souhaite. Non, il paraît avoir aimé ce qu'ils ont fait là. On se mit prêt pour mettre le vernis dessus là, puis le finir.
OK, merci.
Merci.
Est-ce que tu as pensé que cet atelier était vraiment bon?
Oui, je crois que les étudiants ont bien apprécié aujourd'hui d'avoir essayé un petit peu de toutes les choses. C'est très intéressant. Je pense que c'était apprécié beaucoup.
Est-ce que le groupe était bon?
Très bon. On a bien du plaisir. Tout est bien été. Oui.
Est-ce que tu ferais ceci peut-être encore l'année prochaine?
Ah, sûrement. Pourquoi pas? Avec un autre projet peut-être.
OK, merci.
Merci.
Voici l'instructeur de l'atelier de canard. Qu'est-ce que tu as pensé que les enfants ont pris de l'atelier aujourd'hui?
Au début, ils pensaient que c'était vraiment facile de faire la sculpture d'un canard, de faire le pâturage. Et puis, on a fait le travail. Ils ont fait du vrai beau travail. Ils ont tout fait canard. Et puis, quand ils ont tout fini, la première chose qu'ils m'ont dit, écoute là, c'est pas facile comme qu'on pensait au début, ça.
OK. Est-ce que tu penses que tu aimerais faire ceci encore l'année prochaine?
Ça me ferait plaisir si je suis invité encore par Betty et David de venir. Ça me ferait plaisir de le faire encore. Ah oui, c'était vraiment intéressant.
OK, merci.
Merci beaucoup.
Qu'est-ce que tu as pensé en total de cette journée?
Ah, j'ai pensé que c'était un grand succès. Les élèves ont tellement aimé ça. Les présentateurs étaient excellents. Et puis, comme que je dis, tout a bien été. Ça fait bien content. Les élèves ont bien réussi aussi.
Est-ce que tu penses que tu feras cette activité encore l'an prochain?
Bien sûr, si j'ai l'occasion de le faire encore. On a une journée de carrière qui s'en vient dans le mois de juin, encore avec les élèves de grade 7 puis de grade 8. Ça va être encore une bonne journée.
OK, je te souhaite de succès l'année prochaine et merci.
Merci beaucoup et merci à vous. Allô, Martina.
Je m'appelle Renée Sassa de la 7e année. Voici Martina Babert avec moi, l'auteur de la journée. Martina, est-ce que tu as aimé ce que tu as fait aujourd'hui?
Oui, c'était vraiment du plaisir. J'ai su beaucoup de faits intéressants pour les différentes activités.
Est-ce que tu seras un intervieweur dans le temps qui vient?
Peut-être, je vais être vraiment un journaliste, mais c'est vraiment un plaisir.
Merci.
On merci avec L'école de Petite Gras et Martina Babin.
And that wraps out the show for today and for the year. We'd like to thank everyone who did interviews or who gave interviews or helped us in any way during our 2 shows.
And we'd like to say goodbye because this is our last show because we're graduating this year. And we'd like to take this opportunity
to congratulate our fellow graduates and wish them the best of luck in the future. Thank you.
And we'd like to thank, of course, Talil for all their help and assistance in this. A special thanks goes out to Rhonda and Gloria for their
support,
unfaltering support.
And we hope that next year that this show can continue, and with the help of the community and with the school, we hope that the students next year can continue
keep the show going.
So bye.
Toodles.
Devotion.